How old were you when you made your first million?
I was 43. Maybe, no, I was 45. I was 45 when I made my first.
But you had lost it when you had first made it.
Well, I didn't. I had made $1 million a year for a couple of years in a row and then lost all my money.
Why did you lose everything?
We just had a whole series of tragedies. Sometimes life comes at you fast. And I upgraded my lifestyle way too soon when I first started making money. But when you first start making 30, 40, 50,000 a month, you think you're a big baller, or
Right.
80,000 a month, 100,000 a month. You think, oh man, we're making so much money, it'll never run out. But the scripture says, when riches increase, so do they that consume them. So when you start making more money, you are going to have more expenses. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you set yourself up in such a way that you don't spend every dime out of every dollar. You don't even, if you can live off of 10% of your revenue or 10% of your income, now you're in a place where the bottom can fall out and you're still going to be okay for at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a saying that I love: stay small enough, long enough, and you'll be big enough soon enough.
Ooh,
Like
that's
that
a bar.
It's like even if you're making, like you said, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, it's like keep the expenses low.
Keep the expenses low.
Yeah, even when the margins and the profits are high, it's like,
Absolutely. And it gives you the ability to acquire massive amounts of wealth. And the more money you have, if you understand how to turn money into money, the bigger that amount gets, the faster it gets bigger. If you're not always taking money out to go buy stuff. And there's nothing wrong with buying stuff, but you want to make sure that the business is sustained first.
Right. What industry would you get into right now?
Something to do with AI.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
Why?
Well, because it's easier to create wealth in the economic era that you're living in than it is to create wealth in the past. So every time wealth changes, like sectors or categories, a new economic era is introduced. From the beginning of time to the mid-1700s, you had the agricultural age, land equaled wealth. From the mid-1700s to the mid-1900s, industrial age, machines equaled wealth. 1955 to 1978, the distribution age, outlets equaled wealth. And right now we are in the AI age. So the people who got started in AI in 2020, 2021, 2022, and even today, 2025, those are the people who create the wealth of the future.
If you had to start from zero and you had 90 days to make $1 million and your life depended on it, what would you do?
I don't think like that because I don't give myself deadlines like that. So I think you may already know this, but they don't. I don't believe in setting goals. A goal is an objective with a deadline. I don't control deadlines. I don't control the times and seasons. It's like saying to a farmer, okay, if you had to produce 7 million ears of corn by next Wednesday, what would you do? Well, there's nothing you could do. So instead of doing that, have an objective for inputs, an objective for outcomes, but don't put a time limit on it because let it happen when it happens. And that way you're not frustrating yourself by setting a goal, not reaching the goal, and then feeling like a failure because it didn't happen when you thought it was going to happen, because it might happen 2 days later and you still felt like a failure for 2 days. Or if it happens 2 years later, you wasted time feeling like a failure for 2 years, and that feeling like a failure for 2 years might even cause you to quit.